Hey, welcome back, everyone. The time right now is about 8:13 here. It is 9:13, of course, in New York City, and you are looking at a live shot of Rockefeller Center Plaza with the beautiful Christmas tree. It is the day after Christmas, and many kids are probably excited to take their new toys out for a spin today. I would love to be right there at Rockefeller right now. That is gorgeous. But for many, the day after Christmas can also mean trying to figure out how to return some of those holiday gifts that weren't exactly what you wanted. Joining me now live is Leah Napoliello. She is the Vice President of the Better Business Bureau of Greater Houston and South Texas. And she's got some policies you need to know about. Good morning, Leah. And what can you tell us about people, how they can make returning easier for them?
Good morning. Yeah, so basically when you go to return, you want to make sure you understand the policy ahead of time. It's a good idea to do that even before you buy the product. But if not, before you go back to the store or ship your product back, make sure you understand that policy. You can get it from the business's website usually, or the receipt that you have from the business when you purchase the item. So there can be many stipulations, timelines, that sort of thing. So make sure you understand that policy before you return it so you can get all your money back.
What would you say are the biggest challenges for those of us who are going to be returning gifts today?
Just making sure that you get everything, be prepared when you go in there. So one thing to watch out for is, if you're returning something that you purchased online, if there's a brick and mortar store, it's better to return that item in the store itself. Otherwise, you're going to usually have to pay shipping fees. So you want to keep that in mind and understand what the store's policy is before you return that item, ship it, or go in person. Also, just be prepared. Make sure you bring everything in to the store when you return it. So bring your ID, bring the receipt or gift receipt you received. Also, make sure you have all that packaging there, that what came with the product, because if something's missing, then that could be a problem. So make sure you're very prepared before you go in there to make those returns.
Leah, you always give us such great information. What are some of the things that can and can't actually be returned?
Well, it just depends really on the store. Some stores will say, there's a timeline. If you return something after 30 days, for instance, then they won't accept it or they'll only give you a store credit. So you want to look at those timelines too. And just in general, read through the policy. And one thing to do too is to check with the Better Business Bureau on bbbhouston.org. Mm-hmm. Read through complaints and reviews, and if there are any issues with the return policies that other customers have stated, then that's something you want to watch out for and be aware of that you may encounter when you go in to return a particular product.
And tell me about what are some of the differences between returning to a brick and mortar store and returning to an online retailer?
Yeah, so sometimes if you have purchased something online, then you may have to pay shipping fees to get it back there, and there's usually a time frame for that as well. But if the store does have an actual brick and mortar location, then oftentimes you don't have to pay those shipping fees. So you could really save money if you just go in person to make those returns, and you can avoid those types of shipping fees. So you want to take that into consideration when you're making those types of returns.
Let me ask you, for the procrastinators out there like myself who always wait till the last minute, what kind of timeline are we working with? How soon do we have to return this stuff generally?
It really just depends on the store, but you want to go on their site and make sure that you understand it. Sometimes the holiday schedule for returns is different. They may give you some more time depending on the store, but it is important to know that ahead of time, and really you'll be held to that too. So sometimes if you return late, they won't accept the return or they'll only give you a store credit. So it is important just to know that in advance by checking with the business, making sure you get all that information before you go in there to make that return.
And are there any tips you could give us on returning our online items, right? The items that we've been shipped to us, anything that you would tell us that can make returning those items easier, regarding packaging and labels and all that stuff?
Yeah, it is important to have all the packaging for the product. If you're missing something, then that could be an issue with the return. You may have to pay restocking fees too. Yeah. So you want to take that into consideration. But if something is missing, then that could be an issue. You may not get all your money back. So you want to be prepared and get all those items in the package before you return it.
All right, Leah, thank you. Leah Napoliello with the Better Business Bureau. Merry Christmas, a day late. Leah, thank you for joining us. I appreciate it.
Sure. Merry Christmas. Thank you.